can feel like you are studying in another country. You can learn their culture, you can compare their studying technique with our studying technique.
Something international, productive, interesting, exciting and deserving.
When I'm in virtual lecture, I am more brave to speak, to write.
It feels as if you were transported into another country, so you have the chance to meet other people and make other experiences. So people all around the world divide their experiences and knowledge with you.
When I was younger, in the first and the second course, I didn't want to go to Erasmus, and now it's too late, but I would like to go, so I think this place is really good.
So I met new people, I have new friends and new lecturers.
I think that the most important thing is to interact with people from other countries.
It helps me a lot for my professional life. I'm not there physically, but I'm in there by virtual mobility.
When I get a letter that I accepted to this course, I should learn. I get a chance to learn in English in other university. I was, wow, it's happened for me. It's really amazing, I can't describe it.
Because if you like the thing, you will do the best. If you are not interested, so nothing will happen.
The world is changing and the education is changing. And it is a big challenge, a great challenge for university staff to accommodate new generations with new, not only topics, but with new methods and new forms of education.
Well, I think the future of higher education will be much more connected to technology. What I foresee is a combination of methods, not only traditional education, but other alternative methods such as e-learning or blended learning.
We have to be very specific and have to adapt our university policies regarding to what is the demand. So regarding this, unfortunately or fortunately, information technologies is the pathway to our success and to our future.
There are occasions when physical, real mobility cannot be implemented at the moment, or we need to proceed processes which were started during the real mobility. And in these cases, virtual mobility is very useful, and it extends our possibilities to expand international cooperation in studies and in research.
We really think that with this tool, with virtual exchanges, can be our new way of studying for students, of course in both ways, as the main way of studying and as additional way of studying.
And I think in the future traditional mobility programs will live together with this kind of virtual mobility programs.
Traditional mobility program is and will always be the best option of taking advantage of an international experience. However, it's true also that many students cannot afford the high expenses of living abroad 1 year or 1 semester. That's why UbiCamp program as a virtual mobility program can be the best solution for them.
It makes challenges for students and challenges for teachers. Students, in virtual mobility, they usually work in multicultural groups. And in that course, when 6 countries participated, it was multicultural course for students from 6 countries. So it's a challenge to work with the different culture, different experience.
Well, I think that perhaps the main difficulties was in the communication field, because of students was so far from here, it's very difficult to communicate with them by email. We have problems at first of the course while enrolling them because we have no direct contact and we need the information from them, and it was very difficult to contact them by means of their personal emails. Up to this point, we given an email from the University of Oviedo, and at first students don't use this email and we have problems to communicate with them by this email. Well, a lot of problems at first because of the communication issues.
Wanted to join my students together with real students, with virtual students, and to have some common classes, virtual classes, video lectures. But those two active students who participated, one, he was a full-time person, so he couldn't participate in classes, virtual classes in daytime, and another one, he even didn't participate in our chat when it was settled time. So really, I was disappointed for this reason, and it was not my expectation I had before the beginning of the studies.
I think maybe one of the potential drawbacks could be that there are quite a few activities in this course, and the students were busy all the time, so that was quite complicated, and I think they were employed all the time with individual tasks, with group work. So I don't think I don't like it, but I think this could be one of the minuses.
There are some disadvantages of using e-learning environment. Students should be very high motivated. In opposite case, they can fail.
It was necessary to inform everybody and to provide them with a lot of information and explain a lot, and even sometimes convince them, because some of the administrative staff working in faculties were quite skeptic sometimes. Well, at the end, I think we worked together, and at the end it was a great experience, I think.
I dislike most of all that we had this dropout of these virtual students, because in the beginning we planned the course with 4 foreign students, and some of them never showed up for the course. They just wrote the messages, "Oh, sorry, we will catch up later," and we never got them to the course. So finally, we didn't have that much foreign students, so this was, I think, a minus, but we did well.
I like to work with international students because this is challenging, it is interesting, and of course for future I think and hope that it will be possibility to join international groups that students could share their knowledge, their cultural experience, and to find much more positive things than just studying in their native country.
Virtual mobility tries to extend the Erasmus idea to everywhere. This is an advantage because you can be in your own country and start to apply to different courses in different countries, and teachers are able to teach different students of different cultures.
Flexibility is the most valuable side of e-learning environment. Students can choose the most convenient place to study, to save money for traveling to university.
You enrich your teaching, enrich your methods you use, and mainly cooperation. Usually we work alone, and we create our courses and we study different resources, but we work alone. And here you can have a lot of support from other teachers. You discuss learning outcomes, you discuss possible evaluation, so it's huge support. And for students it's a cultural experience. You know, they can stay at home, they can stay at university, but they make new friends. They can be aware about different cultural differences, about cultures, about countries.
I like online learning because it increases transparency. It identifies the problems quicker so that teachers and learners might solve them in a quicker way. But everything depends upon the attitude. If you want to hide problems, then traditional way is absolutely better. If you want to highlight them, I think it's online learning that highlights all the problems that we have to change, to solve, to overcome. With the interactions, I think now we can already notice that people are saying that it is not so much important to be present in the audience and to have all the people gathered and doing some SMSing or mobile work during your classroom, but most important is how people participate. If online learning empowers participation and active learning, then it is better. If not, then it is worse.
I like traveling, and you cannot always be in another country. So this brings us the possibility to know more from academic perspective, more about another country, like what subject peculiarities are in different countries. And this enriches our subjects and curriculum.
Well, the most important elements in virtual mobility perhaps are the communication between students from different countries, from different cultures. Why? Because the main difference between virtual mobility and current learning processes are perhaps the communication between the students, are the cultural interchange of communication between the students.
Well, I think the most important thing in virtual mobility is participation. So students should actively participate and keep in touch with the teaching staff, let's say weekly at least.
The project is also focused about socio-cultural content, which helps to share your culture with other people in different countries. This is important because we are starting to find a new way to join different cultures using both universities and traditions.
Sharing knowledge, sharing our experience, cultural differences, it will be very interesting for us.
For me, it is not too afraid to cooperate. Cooperation, collaboration between teachers and students, most importantly.
I think the most important element of virtual mobility is intercultural exchange happening on academic and socio-cultural levels. So group activities, collaborative work, designing the results of these activities is most important.
International group presentations are the most important thing, and as I found out, one is not enough. I think 2 or even 3 are recommended, because this brings in collaboration between international groups, and the presentation finalizes their work and represents for other groups what was successful and what was not.
Some of the key part of this project is the social cultural content that is given to the students using virtual worlds, videos and other information such as documents and these things. And also they are enrolled in the courses, and we use video conferences to give the classes. So I think it's a really good project that helps students to improve their skills.
I think the most important thing is communication. Because, like I said before, we don't have a lot direct communication, so to use a lot of different communications types is most important.
Responsibility is the most important thing in virtual mobility, because all students must be responsible for their activities and results and inputs in common work.
Probably, actually I do not have much experience on this. It was like the first course for me online, and probably I will take a look at better technical conditions. I will stress this.
maybe the organization, but I think that it's normal because we are people from different degrees, from different courses. Also the teacher in the other country needs to teach another people, so maybe the organization is complicated.
Maybe I will do 2 lessons per week because we have only one, and there was a lot of questions sometimes, and we have to do a task until the next week, so we were not able to do because we writing letters, but not all the time they answered us.
It was difficult to combine both lives, like the real life and the online lives, because I feel kind of alone because I was here doing by myself and I had no friends here to share with, like, my experience. So yeah, I miss that human part of meeting people personally.
The interaction through internet it can be okay, but in some cases it can be like not a very personal relation with the teacher. That is an obvious thing about this way of learning, but it can be solved, but it can be developed in the future.
Internet, because yeah, internet was a bit of problem, not for me, but for others, maybe. And Skype conversations sometimes stopped when we had to wait. But I think all in all it was fine.
What I imagine I would change, maybe not the time of the lectures, but that it would be more flexible, because the time was settled about this and that, and you cannot fix it for your own time. So that wasn't very exciting about the module, because if you cannot attend, you just skip the class and you don't get all the informations.
Definitely, I would recommend it, because my subject is European projects, and my professor, she's from Turkey, so she has a different approach on it, because before I had my own imagination about it. So it makes sense, because I can understand some things from a side as well.
I definitely would recommend, because you can compare other universities' learning technique. You can see the other universities' maybe culture a little, and as I said, improve English. And yeah, I would recommend.
Yeah, if you want to learn something and you have time, or you want to see like so. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely I will recommend 100%, because I think that for me it was the main thing why I choose it, because I was afraid to go to Erasmus program, to leave my country, parents and friends, and I think this is the perfect chance for them to see what is virtual mobility or learning in other countries.
Yeah, of course. I will recommend this course because, well, I get a chance to know not only basic stuff about economics, but also a bit deeper information. And now I can discuss about, for example, fiscal politics or monetary politics, which before I started this course, it was, well, impossible for me.
We even had a group project with other students from Spain to make one website project. It was a cinema ticket system. And it was real great. We actually had to communicate with other students, of course in English, and it was, I think, even better, you know, because not only it was remote studies, but you could actually explore additional possibilities over universities and etc.
Yes, it's in the sense that you get accustomed to another way of learning. Traditional learning, always learning with the same way can be boring. This course can break this routine and make it more challenging or fun.
Of course, I'm going to recommend this course to my friends because, as I said, it's the opportunity to have time for yourself, to do a lot of things apart from study. You can meet people or learn about another country, and if you cannot go abroad because of the money or another things, it's really interesting to be in this kind of projects.
Of course, I would recommend this course for my friends because it was completely new experience, was really good. Was really good communication with other people who were attending the class online, and what was good that you can get all the experience from other people internationally. And okay, if I said that the time was not very flexible, but still, you could get all the information after the classes. You can find all the videos and so on.
I would recommend this course to our friends and to other people who want to get more information from maybe different point of view, from different culture. It's really good to be in virtual mobility because you are able to have lessons during your free time, during weekends, during late evenings, and it also gives you note in your diploma.
Yes, definitely, of course. I think it's a different way of learning and we all should try it at least once in life.